You are watching Anachronology.
Yeah, let's jump in. Let's do it. Let's talk about science,
Yes.
baby. Science, science, science.
All right.
Yeah, that guy's badass looking. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like cracked up Albert Einstein. I'm loving it. Again, great artwork always by AI producer. Thank you. You make this very entertaining for us all.
That's Albert Einstein. That's not Albert Einstein. Albert Eilstein. Man, whatever he's mixing up though, he is having a fun time huffing
He's
that.
getting high off those
Dude.
fumes, dog.
Dude,
Even a little sniffy sniff.
every pharmaceutical advancement was made by a scientist, so they had to try it out somewhere. I think Eilbert here is having a little fun with the flask.
All right, so let's get into science. So what happened in 2003 in the world of science? First up, apparently the Human Genome Project was completed. I remember hearing about this. It says basically researchers finished sequencing all 3 billion base parts of the human genome. I guess that's not too many, 3 billion, sure.
So now this turned into 23andMe, Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
This is basically this. I mean, what this took the world, however long, of the world of scientists working together to create. You can now fast forward to today, where all you have to do is like spit in a tube, send it in the mail, and here you go. They can tell you
Wow.
tell you where you're from, tell you how much of a Neanderthal you are.
This tread the path to be able to do that. Yeah, to be able to just find out like who your fourth removed cousin is living in some shack in Italy or something, which is cool. I will admittedly say I have done it. But yeah, I mean, we can see here, I guess, the landmarks in genetics and genomics. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've been hard at work doing their sequencing, and it all paid off with the reward of finishing it up in 2003.
In this in like 1998, right on the double helix there's just like this like brain worm looking thing, and I don't know, I'm not sure what that it says. I can't even read it. It's like the print's too fall, but it's too fine. But that does not, like, that graphic is not something that I want to like be in the timeline of sequencing your genome. Like that looks like looks like a roadblock. Yeah, it looks like a roadblock. That doesn't look like an advancement.
Yeah, it's weird. But hey, way to go science, way to go for completing that huge task. And yeah, I guess it's, again, like you said, it kind of put us into this era of this accessibility to your heritage and to your genes. And I think as well too, I know that like there's even wilder stuff, like people can do stuff where they like swab their mouths and they can find out what kinds of diseases that their DNA is prone to. So I think, like, hey, way to go, you kind of advanced so we can do cool shit like that nowadays.
It's like I guarantee you there have been like Christmas family gatherings where they have been like blown apart because they're like, oh, we all did the DNA test. It's like, I'm not a match for anyone. Like a decades old affair has definitely been uncovered because of the help of the Human Genome Project. I guarantee you that this is broken up some families.
Oh, definitely made some really strange Christmas dinners. There we go. Yeah. China launched its first human space flight. Now, to me, that's kind of shocking that it took China until 2003 to make that happen. I mean, we've been kind of neck and neck, I guess, with the Russians, obviously, and kind of the whole space flight race. But yeah, apparently 2003, Yang Lui became the first person sent into space by the Chinese space program. There he is in all his glory, throwing up the peace sign. I don't know if he's going or coming to space. I don't know what's up with that, but that's an interesting concept. Again, that it took till 2003 to make that happen.
I think he's just happy to be like getting outside of communist China for like, even if it's like, even if it's miles above the Earth's surface, he's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to be
get
like
me out of here. Yeah, and like everybody was volunteering to get shot into space. Like, yo, the moon is way better than this. Like, yeah, please. Next up, oh, this looks fun. Scientists discovered the SARS coronavirus. So kind of the less deadly cousin to the most recent coronavirus. This one kind of came and went and got contained, but this was kind of a pretty nasty precursor, foreshadowing to what would happen years later. in this country. It's really whack.
Well, I'm just saying these people are ahead of the curve. I mean, it didn't take until it took us 17 years later, if we were 18 years later, for everyone to throw on a mask when COVID-19 came through. So I guess SARS was like the trendsetter back in the day. Like everyone was complaining about having to wear a mask. I guess I don't remember like mask mandates, but I do remember in like Asian countries and everything that they
Oh
were
yeah.
definitely throwing on the masks.
Yeah, it was. I think that was. We saw the masks more prominently in like pictures like this, and I think I've known people that had traveled over there and just say it was always a commonplace thing for lots of people in the populace to wear masks.
Well, I
And
was gonna say, I remember like Japan specifically. I can remember like seeing like videos of their like subway system, and there's so many like they pack them in like sardines. And even before anything like a bird flu, SARS, whatever, they was wearing maskies. But man, this is. I mean, that's not an M91 that Newsweek is now wearing on the cover there, so that's false advertising.
yeah,
I mean, that's a
definitely.
cheap one. That's like a painter's one. That's not even an M95.
Yeah, guys, that's some bad
It's
promotionary
yeah,
propaganda there.
that's music
So
propaganda.
okay, next up, the Concorde apparently took its last commercial flight on October 24th, 2003. It is a supersonic airliner. Never flown on one. I heard they were super sweet and super fast, but end of an era. I guess the last kind of voyage of it, and its weird ass looking build. I mean, you have to admit it's not a very good looking jet. I think like it's just got like the weird nose on it, it's like kind of the person with the really creepy nose. Like it's just not very attractive, and it's still just like, yeah, sure, but look at
The
that thing.
aerodynamics of it, yeah, that's the nose could like move up and down, and it was so the fucking thing wouldn't explode
Oh,
while it was going like Mach whatever. But
movable nose.
yeah, I can't remember what the heck they called it. The beak, the bill, the sniffer of the plane.
The sniffer,
I can't remember what the name of that thing is, but
the schnoz.
yeah, I want to say it's had to be designed like that in order to keep the plane from like exploding in the air. Like in
Whoa,
order for it to go as like as fast as it could, or to land or something, like the aerodynamics of it, if memory
interesting.
serves me.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, screw it being anything cosmetically appealing. It's
Yeah,
just to fucking be
to
practical
keep
and
you
not
alive.
explode. Yeah. So put that big nose on there. Who gives a shit. Next up, apparently, in 2003, Mars had been the closest to Earth that it had been in 60,000 years. And I guess, like, even from that point, it won't be that close until the year 2287. We will all be dead as hell. But the planet will be a little tiny dot in the sky that you can go out and look at and be a freaking nerd and look at it through your telescope.
Isn't there always like, isn't every year there's always something is the closest it will be for another like
Yeah.
200 years? Like there's always there was just like a solar eclipse that that came across like the eastern
Yes,
part of the United
it
States, and
did.
there
Yeah,
and
you're right.
obviously the area of which it was where you could see have a full solar eclipse. They were like, this is the last time you're going to be able to see it for fill in the blank. And I just feel like every time there is
It's true.
any astrological hey, keep an eye out for it, like I'm grateful that we have the instruments to be able to see it, a la this this dude's homemade telescope built on some shoebox, and
He's very proud in that picture. I'm sure he's also pointing it across the field there to his neighbor's window as
but yeah,
well.
it seems like I'm not saying like played out, but it just seems like
Yeah,
can we have like a little less, hey, this is going to be the last time, because there's like the next year it's going to be just slightly a little bit further away,
yeah.
right? Like Mars going around, it's only going to be like slightly further away and slightly further away. Like just
It,
seems like hanging our hat on something that's a little hollow.
yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's like very lackluster as well. I think they build it up and it's just like it's a tiny dot. It's not like, unless you're going to do it like a telescope or something where you get like a cooler view of it. It's just very it's just not cool. I mean, there's no way to put it. The coolest thing I remember ever seeing was a meteor shower as a
I think,
kid.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, that's pretty cool. That looks cool. It's like, it's like space fireworks and shit, and it's neat. But just like a more brightly colored glowing dot, 60,000 whatever light
Man,
years away. I
I
mean, Jesus Christ.
I wish I knew what this guy's like. I like astronomy shirt says. Like this dude, he's doing us like a disservice by wearing that flannel, the unbuttoned.
Oh, I do want to see it.
I would
Yeah.
rather he either repped the shirt all the way or button the flannel, so I don't have to be tortured not knowing
Yeah.
what that shirt like doesn't say or it says or doesn't say. I need to see it.
It says something I need,
Need
something I need, something
year
it'd be great if
gear.
it was sexual too. If it had
Oh yeah, a
some
little double
sexual,
entendre.
yeah, a little entendre on it.
Well, it's like you said, is that
You go, guy.
that telescope's pointed not in the sky, but in the neighbor's window.
It brings all the ladies to the yard. That sweet ass homemade telescope that this dude made. Next up, apparently, scientists found the oldest known fossilized brain. It was a 300 million year old fossilized brain found in Kansas, of all places. And I guess it was really a tiny little ass brain. I mean, look at it there per scale. That's a little baby brain.
How do you like as a scientist? Like, I guess
Hmm.
you know what to look for when it comes to like
Yeah, it's
fossilized
true.
brains.
Yeah,
Because I mean, there's just got to be. This has to have been in what a whole mound of fucking dirt. That
I
they
know.
just
And it
sifted
looks like a goddamn rock to me. That doesn't
to
look
it.
like a brain. I mean, any layman would be like, hey, let's skip this stone across the lake. I mean, some scientists would be like, no, 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 no. You know, like they just like, you know it.
I mean, it looks like
That's weird.
weird fudge.
It does.
It
Edible at that. Yeah.
yeah. It does not look like. I mean, shit. I don't know what the hell any
But it's
kind
a
of
little tiny ass brain. And I mean, look, I get it. Like the evolution of the brain as we have evolved, it got bigger and bigger. I mean, some would argue, but I think that it's interesting to me that like at some point, like the brains were just so tiny, little baby brains, and like, you know, pretty giant skulls. I guess they grew with this as we evolved in the size of our skulls, but that was a little ass brain, dude. I don't even know what kind of whose brain that was. They're saying that was a human brain?
no. That's got to be.
No
That's
way.
no.
That's a
That's
fossilized brain. That's some animal or
It's some
fish, some weird marmot's brain. Now figures. We were just talking about this, and this is kind of a sad point. And obviously, science in 2003 was, yeah, okay,
That's what I
yeah,
remember.
it definitely was the space shuttle Columbia disintegrating upon re-entry. Look at these poor people. I mean, they didn't know. I mean, I guess when you sign up to be an astronaut, there's this chance, you know, I feel like that chance has gotten less and less over the years, but like early days of going up into space, I'm sure you were signing some paperwork. It was like, there's a good shot you're not coming back.
I remember that what happened with this,
Mm.
when it took off from the landing pad, like I can't remember if it was one of the like arms that hold the shuttle up, or there's some part of the structure where the shuttle goes up. It hit the ceramic tiles on the
Ooh.
wing, and
Oh
it
boy.
knocked off ceramic tiles.
Yikes.
And I can't remember. I don't think they had the. I don't think the astronauts had the ability to like check that area
Ouch.
of the shuttle. I can't remember, but I do know that there's like video footage
man.
of in slow motion. You can see like
Oh.
the stuff coming off the
Oh,
shuttle.
boy.
But that wasn't really. It all happened so fast with all
Oh,
the
yeah.
smoke and everything that they weren't able to, I guess, like see it in real time. It wasn't until they went back and after the
Game
fact,
over, man.
like,
And it's just like
them
you're
off.
just literally, you know, you're just literally basically in a giant bomb anyway. I mean, that
Right.
thing is just the amount of fuel and just I don't know, man. It's just that's an unfortunate scenario. I mean, I guess with great innovation comes great tragedy and risk. You know, it's sad, lost some Americans, but yeah, you know, paved the way for the next great voyage. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be talking about the next group of astronauts that went to Mars.
Yeah, I think that was the last shuttle we had too. Unfortunately, I think that's the last one. I don't
Oh.
remember another. I don't remember another one coming up. That sucks.
Yeah. All right. Well,
R.I.P. Astros.
yeah. R.I.P. Astros.
We are in spirit. We are not nearly as good or brave as you, but we continue on the travel through time.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah. Mad props. I
Yeah.
would never do that. Okay, moving on. God, we're on the genome train. Apparently, also scientists sequenced the first dog genome. Look at this. Look at these dogs. They're freaking pumped. The boxer breed was the first dog to have its genome mapped.
All right, so this is different from the cloning of the dogs. This is different from cloning. This is just like the same thing they did with humans, like just
Kinda
saying
sounds
this
like.
is what but that's I'm assuming that
I think so.
That because they are able to sequence the dog genome, now we are able to clone the dogs from this. I'm imagining, right?
I mean, that's where my head's at. I mean, I just think that, yeah, that's probably where they're going to is like, and I mean, that was in 2003. Who knows? I mean, they could have already been cloning a ton of dogs. We
Well,
don't
that's
know that.
yeah. So if we can, so then why, if we can do this, if we can clone dogs, then how come we're not cloning humans? Or we are? There must be some people cloning humans.
I'm
You
sure
know,
there's some clones out there walking around, to this day, we don't even know about them. I
I
just
mean,
think that the scientists, they know what they're doing. I think their original plan was, yo, we're gonna do this dog genome thing. We're gonna get it on its legs. Finally, when we have it ready and we can clone a dog, we're gonna clone Spuds McKenzie. We're bringing back Spuds McKenzie. That's always been the plan. They're gonna bring him back. I'm calling it right now.
so I'm like, you know how it costs several thousands of dollars to clone your dog. So
Yeah,
even back then, I'm sure it was even more. I'm sure it's gotten like a little more affordable, or who knows? Maybe if you you could go for like the Mercedes
what's the
Benz of
going
cloning
rate?
your dog versus like going for the Honda Accord of cloning your dog. But what I'm getting at is there's definitely people who have money to clone their dog.
That's wild.
So going back to like cloning humans, then there's people, if the people who have enough money to clone their dog, there are people with enough money to clone humans that they
Yeah,
want to treat like dogs, like just to have as like a pet. Like I guarantee you there is some like weird billionaires that they have got like little, like their own little harem of cloned human beings that they just do freaky little whatever with, man. Because I guarantee you, wherever
yeah.
there is the possibility to like just kind of,
Oh yeah.
I guess,
There's deviants.
arbitrarily say to a thing like, you're not
Yeah,
even real. You didn't
yeah.
even come out of a vagina. You're not even real. I paid for you.
Oh yeah.
You're a science experiment.
There's some creepy millionaire that has already paid for somebody to like clone him like 1990s Macaulay Culkins that just like are a little harem of boys that look like Macaulay Culkin. Calling it.
When-
We think the Jeffrey Epstein thing blew wide open. We ain't seen nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
Well, that was cool. Science, bruh. I like science. That was pretty good. I feel like I learned a little something there. Obviously, I mean a lot of stuff that's way beyond my rational thought.
I'm trying to
But
remember what the hell did. But real quick, what the hell did Spuds McKenzie? What was he the advertiser for? What did he
Bud
put
Light,
peddle?
he
I
was
can't remember.
Budweiser dog,
Bud
Spuds
Light,
McKenzie.
Bud Light,
Yeah,
Bud
I think he
Light.
was pretty synonymous with Bud Light, but dude, I
Look,
remember, dude, Spuds McKenzie, he was living the life as a dog. I mean, he was going to parties, probably getting laid, probably had
I
big
could
sponsorship contract. He
I
skateboarded. He was cool.
I was gonna say that was like the most movement I remember.
Cool
He
shit.
like, otherwise he was really chill, but then the skateboard, I just couldn't remember the product placement. Well, shit,
That's true. I
bring his
remember
ass.
he would bring him back. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
scientists, you need to get to work.
It is now
Dude.
time for a segment.
Ooh,
Well, okay then, AI producer
What do we
telling us
got?
what to do. I guess it is time for a entertaining segment. Let's do this. This is pretty good. This kind of pertains to our most recent category, science. It is a category, I'm sorry, a segment we like to call Trust the Science, bruh. As you can see
Like
here, bro, we got to
Duke
trust the
Duke
gotta
Nukem
trust
looking
the
motherfucker.
science, some Duke Nukem shit. Um, so yeah, so on this particular Trust the Science, bro, we are going to talk about the science of cryptozoology. Now, this is something that, again, kind of over my head. I didn't know much about it. AI producer has downloaded all this cool information, but apparently cryptozoology is pretty badass. And it's just basically kind of like the crazy and odd findings of like the possibility that like mythological creatures exist, like things that aren't necessarily like 100% classified as being real, but there's obviously a science that's like digging deep to try to find out if it is. And this is apparently cryptozoology.
Well, I'll be pretty transparent here. I'm a big believer in Bigfoot. I have not seen
All right.
Bigfoot.
Okay.
But I'm like, I want Bigfoot to be real very badly, like
Yeah.
very badly. I want big, and I'm not gonna lie, I have gone down the rabbit hole, looking
Same.
up all sorts of fucking Bigfoot footage. I have
Absolutely.
firsthand accounts, and I know like that is obviously probably, aside from, well, the Yeti is just a snow version of Bigfoot, but if that's the most well-known, I would argue well-known cryptid. I'm interested to see what others, because going down the rabbit hole of Bigfoots, I have come across some this culture has this culture, this. So I'm interested to see what AI producer has pulled up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you nailed it. I think like each kind of culture, society all across the world have kind of a Bigfoot. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It's like whether it was some kind of lore that was told or sightings that were found. But yeah, I would say Bigfoot's like the biggest celebrity, monster in our country. People love saying they saw him. People dress up like him. They make footprints of him. Um, I don't know if he's real, but I say, man, I'm really hoping he is because that would be badass. And then just one day, Bigfoot just shows up somewhere. He's like, "Yeah, what's up? What's going on? I hear you're looking for me."
The only other one, pardon me, the only other one that I can think of at the top of my head that's also like world renowned would be Nessie, like the Loch Ness monster.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like the only
there you
that's
go,
off the
Nessie.
top of my head.
Absolutely.
Like more so than a chupacabra or I mean, because I don't think like unicorns. That's like mythological. This is like crypto.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fantasy,
yeah, yeah,
whatever. Lisa Frank shit.
yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at some cryptozoology here. First up, we have the Mongolian death worm. There it
I
is in all its glory. Look at that
I
thing.
I have heard of this.
You have?
I have heard
Okay.
of the Mongolian deathworm, but this one I don't believe is real. I don't believe as he just like how fucking stupid do I sound? I'm talking about I want people to be like, I don't know, man. A Mongolian deathworm. I don't think so. Now let me tell you why I'm on the fence about
Tell us
this.
in the comments why
Yeah,
we're wrong.
yeah.
Okay, apparently a purported 5-foot long reddish worm said to spew an acidic yellow venom and give a lethal electric shock. It's supposedly found in the Gobi Desert. I mean, this thing straight up just seems like a villain in a Zelda game. You know what I'm saying? This is just like something you fight in a video game somewhere. It just seems so unrealistic that even the description of it just seems so evil demon-esque. Like, really? Is this thing really a thing?
Yeah, I want to say
Who's been attacked by this thing?
Gobi Desert, like Mongolia is right north of China. So
Okay.
I want to say the Gobi Desert like encompass like is in both China and Mongolia, hence the name Mongolian deathworm. The only thing that I would say lends credence to this possibly being
Hmm.
real is those countries don't like allow anyone in there for science or tourists or any of that kind of shit. Well, that's not you get a tourist visa, but as far as like doing scientific research, they don't really like you snooping around over there.
No.
So the jury's out on the Mongolian deathworm, but
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Next up, we have the orang pendek.
Oh yes,
Oh,
it's like
there it is in all its glory. It's actually a kind of a pretty looking ape, marsupial. What would we call this? And kind of something in that
well,
family.
I know that's like the beginning of it, like orang pendek, like that is like orangutan. That's the first
Orangutan.
yeah, orangutan. So there is. I wonder if this is just.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is just like a baby, like a
Throw in some
like
vibes,
I,
honestly, in these pictures. I don't know.
I wonder if someone just saw like a really hot female orangutan and was like, "Yo, bro, this is not an orangutan. Trust me, I've seen orangutan.
Yeah.
This is way hotter. This is way hotter than orangutan."
I kind of agree. It's giving it this like beautiful long hair. It's saying AI producer says a small bipedal humanoid cryptid said to inhabit remote forests on the island of Sumatra. Witnesses describe it as a ground dwelling ape
Witnesses,
walking up, probably just doing its thing. But like you said, I'm looking at it, right? And it's like it's ringing a bell. It's given some broody look. It's got the beautiful long hair. Who does it remind me of? Yeah, it reminds me of 90s Alanis Morissette. That's exactly what I feel. I'm getting that vibe, it's throwing me. It's throwing me. After I looked at this picture, I go back, I look at it. Totally, dude. It's throwing me. It's got Alanis Morissette vibes.
man. I like the. I was gonna say the one. Like the one on the left, definitely a little more than the one on the right here in the photo. I'm telling you, man. Whoever did the artist rendering of the one on the right,
Is in love with monkeys.
dude,
Yeah.
they love monkeys, dude. That has like
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett hair.
It
It's got
really does. It looks like a pinup monkey. It's
yeah.
kind of creepy. But yeah, the one on the left has one hand in its pocket, and another one is either eating a banana or throwing poopy at you. Okay. That's interesting. That may exist. I think like when we talk about apes and monkeys and stuff, I mean, I would assume maybe something like that exists out there with beautiful long hair. Next up is the Ahool, Ahool, a giant bat-like creature reported across Indonesia. And obviously there it is. It's exactly as it sounds. It's a giant fucking man bat looking thing. It's terrifying. Nightmare fuel.
Man, I'm trying to remember if
Jesus Christ.
like flying foxes. I can't remember if those are South American or if they have those also in Indonesia. Because I could see like someone who like has a loincloth, probably has a house that they were born in that is on sticks above the ground,
Hmm.
and you just see like a giant regular flying bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a regular giant flying bat in the moonlight, where there's in the middle of the fucking jungle. I could see that being like
Sure.
a little Jeepers Creepers action on you, being like, oh, you wouldn't believe what I saw. I saw a giant like man bat as
And
opposed to just a
those
regular bat.
bats out there in those kinds of countries, I mean, I think I've seen videos where it's terrifying. They're the size of a small child. I mean, some of them
Yeah,
are like the size of like a 2-year-old boy, just
yeah.
like hanging upside down, huge wings. Of course, yeah, you see that flying at night. It's going to ruminate all kinds of terror and
Yeah, like
draw on pictures like this shit.
there are real bats with 4-foot wingspan, so I can see like a a child of a village or a adult of a village saying,
Right. Of
I
course.
saw a
I saw
human."
I saw an ahul. It came
Yeah,
after me. It
I saw
attacked me in the middle
Who,
of the night. This ahul.
and
All right,
really
ahul. You probably do exist. Next up, throwing some Loch Ness vibes here, but this is apparently called
Altamaha. Haha.
Altamaha. They actually add an extra dash HA. Altamaha is probably the best way to say it. A long necked aquatic creature like a river dolphin, allegedly inhabiting Georgia's Altamaha River. Some claim it's a surviving zeuglodon.
Okay, so is this Georgia, the state in the United States, or Georgia, the country over?
I was going to
'Cause
say, I'm not seeing many of these in here in Georgia.
Because I mean,
Uh,
both like Altamahaha, I guess that could be like Native American, like First Nations people name, like a traditional name, but also the country over in Europe or the Caucasus, like Altamaha. I, could it also be some old language that no longer exists? So, I mean, I don't know if this is United States creature or old world creature.
Well, you know what? I'll be damned. Asking AI producer. Apparently, Altamaha, Georgia, is a real place, and there is a river in that in Tottenham County in Georgia. So I guess, yeah, go get yourself a big Altamaha. I
All
mean,
right.
look at that goddamn thing. It's massive.
Even more so now that we know can confirm it's in the United States, there's no way that exists because there would be somebody who has lived on a river, captured one of those by now. Are you kidding me? Like some
Yeah.
river person in Georgia,
Oh,
they like
hell's yeah. They
yeah,
would be. They would have recipes for
yeah,
it. The head would be mounted on somebody's wall
yeah,
somewhere. Yeah. If that ain't happening, then this thing ain't real.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring in Owl Man. Owl Man of Cornwall, England. That picture says AI producer says a large owl-like humanoid with wings and glowing eyes reportedly seen around Cornwall, England in the 1970s. I mean, this just looks like a failed Batman villain right here. These mock-ups of it. I mean, sure. I mean, kind of like Mothman in the
That's
states,
what
kind
I
of
thought it was. That's what I thought it was at first
throwing some
glance.
Mothman vibes. But again, I mean, big owls, maybe giant owl that you think is Owl Man.
Or there's just nothing going on in the southwestern corner of England where they were like, we need attention, but something that's not going to draw too much attention. Let's complain about a giant, I don't know what's not too scary, but could be scary. A giant
Yeah.
owl that has glowing eyes. We
What's
could say
coming
that
at
we
night and taking our sheep? Oh, it's Owl Man. Yeah, it's
there you
just
go.
like they all got together and made up the lore. Yeah, I'd buy that. But obviously not too impressive.
Never heard of
Whatever, Owl
never
Man.
heard of Owlman either. Never heard of
Yeah,
Owlman.
it's all fake. This one's fun. This one's called just as simple as Trunco. This is Trunco. Trunco is a supposed white, hairless, white-like creature that washed up dead on a South African beach in 1924, had no fins, and an elephant-like trunk, as you can see here. I don't know if that's some kind of computer
Dr.
graphic
Seuss rendering.
image there, and then you have like the picture your daughter drew on in the backseat of your car on vacation up there of Trunco, which is kind of lazy imaginative. It's just like, okay, we'll give it the elephant trunk. We'll make it kind of look like a big, whatever you want to call it, a fucking dolphin or porpoise. It is. It's just like
So
a big porpoise with a trunk.
I'm unfamiliar with Trunco, but I think what Trunco might be is like
Oh,
one of
Trunco.
the is just a normal, or not a normal, but a already known species of whale that died, and all the like there's other, I think they call them like blob monsters, or like there's some sort of like, not technical, but there is instances where just a fucking mess of like fat and tissue
Ugh.
that's been like waterlogged and also like bloating in the sun
Trunko.
washes up on shore. So I think Trunko is just a regular old dead carcass, because I've never
We'll
heard of
call it
Trunko.
Trunko. Yeah,
We'll call it,
exactly. We'll call it
we will call
Trunko.
him Trunko.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. This next one, I can't even really this one's called
Yeah,
okay,
AI
this is Popo Bawa. This is Popo Bawa. Popo Bawa, apparently, this Popo Bawa is great. So he's a bat-like evil spirit said to attack and sodomize victims. So Popo Bawa is into butt stuff. He's a freak and he flies around and butt fucks people in Zanzibar.
So what I think happened was just people who enjoyed getting butt fucked got caught getting butt fucked, and they were like, "No, I didn't do it because I enjoyed it. It was a giant bat."
It was Popo Bawa.
It was
Popo
Popo
Bawa
Bawa.
did it.
It
Yeah,
was Popo
exactly. It was like
Bawa.
everybody was like, dude, it was Popo Bawa. Okay. Oh, my ass is killing me. Oh, dude,
Popo
Popo
Bawa.
Bawa, he got you.
Blame it on
I mean,
Popo
that is
Bawa.
terrifying. I mean, the idea of being sodomized against your own will is terrible, but by that thing, yeah, that's even worse. Popo
I'm just
Bawa.
imagine some Zanzibarian going into like a sex store, like grabbing a fucking
Oh
giant
yeah.
dildo, like what are you doing? Like, oh, I have to put this in my ass to protect against Popo Bawa. If I
Yeah.
already have a giant dick in there, he can't fuck me in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Okay,
butt plugs just went through the roof, for a
okay.
few years in Zanzibar. Yeah, I'm not sure about Popo Bawa. I think that's a pretty weak cover up for some freak nasties out there. Okay, this one's pretty wild. This is Bunyip. Bunyip, a creature from Australian Aboriginal folklore, said to lurk in swamps, billabongs, creeks, and water holes. Descriptions vary widely. As you can see here, it looks like a giant fucking jackal or some shit on the right, and I don't know what the hell that is. Nightmare illustration on the left. This is some total Aborigine shit.
So I would bet that there was some creature that fucking ate Aborigines way back when, and
Yeah,
eventually they just like all died out. But the story persists because those people were there for so long that they
yeah, you're
saw
right.
every damn thing that like walked or crawled on that land. So I am sure that Bunyip is like based in truth, but I'm giving Bunyip the I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, I think Bunyip, like any of these, it's the game of telephone through the ages of how it just keeps the lore grows and it evolves and it changes and it becomes more terrifying. But that looks stupid. I don't think
Yeah.
Bunyip's real. Let's round it off with this one that I can't. Yeah, wow. Yeah, this one really, really strikes. I can't even really say it. It's Elwetritsch. How would you say that?
Uh,
Try it.
Elwertrich?
Elwetritsch, a bird-like cryptoid from Germany, described as having antlers, a wrinkly face, and shaggy fur. It was said to lure people into the woods. Now, what it did not say in the description, it also has a big old set of knockers on it. This to me is a lore created in Germany. It's people going to a pub, they're all drunk, they did something and that they shouldn't have done, and they just blamed it on this thing. They made up this thing and they said this thing was out there and it did it and it just stuck. I mean, this is look at it. It looks like it was created out of just complete madness.
It looks like the like mascot or logo for a medieval like strip club. Like, where are we going? We're going to Elwertrich's.
Jesus. I mean, it just has everything. It's just going for it. It's got feathers, it's got antlers, it's got big knockers, it's got a big chicken face and a beak, talons.
It's doing the stanky leg in this image right here.
Yeah, it's I mean, sure, I'm sure if it were real, it'd be terrifying. But again, it's just takes it back to a lot of this stuff. It's stuff that's either like you tell stories to scare your children and teach them a lesson in lore, or again, it's some big boisterous bar claim of I saw this creature out in the woods that had big breasts. And,
I was gonna
you
say
know.
it says it lures them into the woods. I guarantee
What?
you, it's luring them into the woods with them big titties, man. Like
Hell yeah.
that's how it's getting all its victims. Them big old mythical titties.
Shaking those big mythical double D's into the woods and the tree line. I
I
mean,
believe-
I would love to think this is real. So I'm going to hold out hope that this final crypto zoology claim is real. So that was pretty good. I think out of all those, maybe 2 or 3 I could believe exist.
Man, I definitely I'm sure there are like some of them are based 100% in fact, and some of them I just think people were just either imagination got the best of them, they were getting caught having sex and they had to come up with a story of whether getting fucked in the ass, or it's just possible they were just like Looney Tuny on something. You know what I mean? Like maybe they ate some bad mushrooms out in the fucking woods and they're like, the fucking owl bird antlered big titty monster called to me. It's like, well, I've seen some weird stuff on psychedelics, so who's to say the Middle Ages didn't have big
That's what I'm
titty?
saying, man. You ate a weird mushroom while you were out there, and you just saw a big titted chicken goblin, and then you followed it into the woods.
And honestly, can you blame anyone seeing a big titted chicken goblin?
No, you
Follow-
can't.
Yeah.
You can't. No harm, no foul. Well, all right. That's category 1 down. Way to go. We've got our way through science here in 2003. We hit up our special segment, Trust the Science, bruh. Let's yeah, and you got to trust the science, especially when it's got some big old titties like that. So let's go to a break, hear from a sponsor. We'll be right back with category 2.
You're back.
Sorry.